untuk mengukur sejauh mana implementasi dari SFM, maka Indonesia mengembangkan sebuah sistem. Pembicara terdahulu sudah bicara masalah sistem sertifikasi yang berlaku di Brasil, kemudian menjadi anggota PIFSI. Kemudian juga kita mengenal ada skema lain yang namanya FSI. Kemudian Indonesia memang bukan anggota dari PIFC, namun kemudian Indonesia mengembangkan sebuah standar yang berlaku mandatori. Ya. Bagaimana FSI dan FSI terutama, gimana? Apakah boleh beroperasi di Indonesia? Sistem mandatori di Indonesia, sistem sertifikasi mandatori di Indonesia tidak pernah melarang beroperasinya sistem-sistem lain. Oleh karenanya sampai hari ini ada 6 unit kelola hutan alam yang 6 unit kelola alam yang memiliki sertifikat FSI.
So the measurement tools that is being used by the Indonesia is very similar with how the Brazilian is doing. Brazil is doing. You have your own regulations, but also at the same time, after a while, you are becoming a member of PEFC. Indonesia itself, we have PHPL, which is Indonesian Standard for Sustainable Production Forest Management, and also SVLK under that. And even in Indonesia, we are welcoming all other certifications to come and see how we are implementing this. And in Indonesia itself, there are about 6 forestry unit that is FSC certified.
Namun kemudian bahwa karena sifatnya ini adalah mandatori, maka walaupun mereka sudah menerima sertifikat FSI, tetap wajib untuk mendapat sertifikat mandatori PHPL dan SVLK.
Because the Indonesian government regulations is mandatory, it doesn't matter which certifications, other certifications that they have received, they still have to have the Indonesian PHPL certifications.
Sertifikasi PHPL dan SVLK dibangun tiga pilar. Yang pertama adalah governance, tata kelola. Yang kemudian juga representativeness, keterwakilan dan kredibilitas. Hal ini juga sebetulnya sama dengan sistem-sistem yang voluntary, ya, sistem-sistem voluntary, di mana penyusunan standar, implementasi standar dilakukan tidak pemerintah driven, tapi kemudian dilakukan oleh lembaga-lembaga independen yang telah diakreditasi.
For the PHPL and SVLK, we have 3 pillars, which is government representativeness and credibility.
Yeah.
Credibility.
Yes. Okay. Governance, representativeness. Ini adalah perkembangan sertifikasi yang ada di Indonesia. Sampai hari ini ada 6 juta hektar, ya 6 juta hektar yang telah tersertifikasi SFM. Dan kami akan menyampaikan progres SVLK sampai saat ini, bahwa sistem SVLK, sistem sertifikasi legalitas kayu, telah diakui oleh Uni Eropa. Ya, telah diakui oleh Uni Eropa. Artinya standar yang mandatori, standar yang dikembangkan di Indonesia bersifat mandatori, yang untuk PHPL dan SVLK saat sekarang adalah telah diakui oleh Uni Eropa, yaitu dengan ditanda tangannya secara bersama antara pihak pemerintah Indonesia dengan pihak Uni Eropa.
Up till now, there are more than 6 million hectares of forest in Indonesia that has been certified. And for the progress of the SVLK, which is the timber verification system, has been recognized by the European Union recently.
Bagaimana pengelolaan areal-areal konservasi di Indonesia? Ya. Total konservasi area di Indonesia adalah sekitar 20 juta hektar lebih, dan ini lebih luas dari areal di Inggris, Nederland, Amerika maupun France.
How we manage our conservation area, we have set aside about 20.5 million hectares, excluding waters conservation area, and this area is bigger than the total conservation area in the UK, Netherlands, US, France, and Finland.
Oke. Tantangannya adalah dalam mengelola areal konservasi, tantangannya adalah bahwa diperlukan biaya yang besar. Oleh karenanya pelibatan pihak swasta dalam hal ini sangat dibutuhkan, dan salah satu contohnya adalah kasus Java Rhino, Sumatera maupun riset pit yang kemudian nanti akan kita lihat videonya.
Challenges that the Indonesian government is having on managing conservation is the security management of conservation area, which requires a very high budget, very expensive, and the solutions that has been done so far is to work together with the private sector, and several of the examples are the conservations of Javan rhino in Ujung Kulon, the Sumatran tiger in Sumatra, and also working together with the Bogor Agriculture Institute on the peatland studies.
Yeah.
That we will see the videos later on.
Yeah.
And now we work with L-band, which the saturation level is higher. So we think that L-band is quite useful for tropical forest. When the first European satellite, we only use for SAR polarimetry, and then for Japanese L-band radar, we use for polarimetric SAR interferometry, which measure the height of the forest stem.
Using advanced measuring tools, we now know that newly planted pulpwood plantations have a positive net carbon effect, making our nation and our world a cleaner place to live and play. We practice the art and science of caring for forests, called silviculture. With careful tree selection and water table management, healthy plantation forests emerge.
Di lahan gambut yang harus dilakukan adalah mengatur tata air. Kalau tata airnya baik, maka walaupun gambut itu miskin, tanaman hanya dikasih pupuk untuk 1 tahun. Selanjutnya pupuk itu berputar saja dan panen. Kita menanam hutan tanaman itu demikian padat. Populasinya 1.600 sampai 1.700 pohon per hektar. Karena tanamannya padat, penyerapan karbon juga banyak. HTI menggunakan sistem pengairan tertutup. Artinya muka air tanah dijaga betul, dikontrol betul. Tekniknya juga improve. Tapi sayang, keberhasilan HTI itu tidak terlihat oleh banyak orang. Banyak orang mengatakan semakin lama akan semakin miskin. Menurut saya tidak. Makan akan semakin subur, tanah akan semakin kompak, asal air jangan diganggu.
These new, rapidly growing plantations capture carbon, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and help Indonesia contribute in a positive way to the global battle against climate change.
When the area is totally degraded. So we have 3 scenarios when we left as it is, and then the result is the carbon stock lower than the baseline. The baseline is 1995. And the second scenario is if we make an enrichment, and then the carbon stock will be the same with 1995. And then the other scenario, if we put timber plantation, and then the carbon stock is higher than 1995. And our research show that the last one, which is the carbon stock higher than the 1925, is proven.
These pulpwood plantations that we are creating store a significant amount of carbon, a major improvement from the destroyed barren forests they have replaced. In fact, new research shows they may actually capture more carbon than is held in some natural forests. By investing in science and technology, we are making sure our nation can successfully implement REDD programs, which stands for Reducing Emissions from Deforestation and Forest Degradation. Through accurate monitoring, reporting, and verification of the positive carbon impact of the plantation forests, we are advancing our nation forward into a bright future. Throughout Indonesia, we are creating an environment that further contributes to the economic development of communities in the area, lifting up the entire nation through this great work. The success of these essential afforestation programs proves that public-private partnerships work in Indonesia, helping us tackle problems of great national and global significance. The power of working together can be seen in each tree, on the face of each animal roaming the forest, and felt in the hearts of thousands of Indonesians who work hard to protect our nature for the coming generations.